Hi, this is Jamie Magrich coming to you from my craft table today. Today's kind of exciting. It's January 3rd, 2019, and today is the start of our celebration and the new spring catalog. With the celebration, every $50 that you spend, there's items in here that you can purchase or that you can choose free. There's also a couple options if you spend $100 that you can receive free. And the celebration catalog runs from now until, where's the date on it? June 3rd. There's some really nice stuff in here. So let me scroll down. I have a cute project I want to show you. It's a clean and simple card. It's really very simple. Let's scroll down. Bear with me, I apologize. Hopefully you can see. Okay, so I showed you the catalog. There's some really nice stuff in here that you can get for free. There's also during this time the option if you want to join. If you're going to spend at least $100, for $175 you can get $99 worth of Stampin'Up products. Or you can choose option 2, which you can purchase this nice tote and you get $175 worth of free product for $129. So that's a really good deal. So for $99 you get $175. For $129 you get the tote plus $175 worth of product. If you're going to purchase a bunch of product anyway, then you might as well do that, and then in the future you can get 20% discount. There's a lot of cute things. There's ribbon, there's a bunch of nice stamps. There's little wooden embellishments. There's this Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper that I've been using a lot of. There is a By the Bay, Home to Roost. There is some really pretty foil sheets, Grapefruit Grove and Lovely Lipstick. There's this really cute So Happy Together stamp set. There's a Part of My Story, which is some really nice sentiments, Lovely Lattice. And then Precious Parcel Card Kit. It's got everything you need to make these cute cards. It's already got the adhesives on it. Then for $100 in the Occasions catalog, there's Tea Together stamp set. And you can get the framelits for it free if you spend $100. And there's this really pretty Lasting Lily one. Those are the $100 options. Let's just take a quick run through of the Occasions catalog. I'm just going to do a quick flip through because there's some really pretty stuff in here. I got a lot of it, but I couldn't get everything either. I love this paper. I did purchase that. It's the Floral Romance. There's the butterflies that I used before. It's a cute candy sweet. There's the cake bundle, the piece of cake. The one that I used to make a... Oh, maybe I didn't do a video on that one, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, and it's varied in styles, and there's the Vibrant Vases. This one is one that I'm using today, or have. There's a lot of really nice stuff in this catalog. This is one of the papers I'm using today. There's a Butterflies Gala with the punch. That's a must-have in my opinion. This one is stitched. There's the man suite. There's a really nice fish one. I love the horse one too. It's really pretty. I love this one. So many that I didn't. Here's the tea together one that I was talking about that you can get the framelits for free if you spend $100. There's a lot of cute ones. Okay, so going through that a little bit. There's their annual catalog, and the other stamp set that I'm using today, or the primary one, is the varied vases. Now the varied vases in the annual catalog, you can get a bundle where you get the punch with it, because I am going to be using the punch today as well. So my primary is going to be using this stamp set and bundle. And that's on page 45 of the annual catalog. Okay, well, let's get started. This is the card that inspired today's project. This is an old card I made quite a long time ago. This one you used a masking technique and a block stamping. I didn't want to use the masking technique, so I came up with this card today. This is one of the cards that I did. This is the one that uses both of the stamp sets, both the varied vases and the vibrant vases. And it uses the DSP, the Gala, the gingham check one, and the new rectangle, stitch rectangle die that's in the Occasions catalog as well. This is the card that I'm actually going to show today. There's two versions of it. This one is a clean and simple, just uses stamps and ink. If you'd like to, you could use a marker and do the stitching along the edge like I did on this card here. It looks really neat, but it's not necessary, so I think I'll show the option of doing the stitching on the card I do in the tutorial. And then this is a stepped up version. This particular one uses the vellum, which is part of the Occasions catalog. You can purchase the Floral Romance Specialty Designer Series paper, which is the one that I was showing in the catalog that I really like. And it comes with, it has this really pretty vellum in it. So we're going to use the punch and punch out a couple of those pieces of vellum and to make the vases on this card. Okay, so let's get started. Let's put these over here so I can use them as reference. This is the varied vases stamp set that I'm going to be using. For the first card, I'm just going to do the clean and simple version. I have a piece of the regular Whisper white cardstock. It is 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I have actually two of them because one for the inside of my card, and a half a sheet of our basic black, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to put these aside, these other pieces. These are just a piece of Whisper white to stamp on, and then we would die cut it out using the stitch rectangles. And there's a piece of the to do the other card. And then we would also need a piece of the adhesive sheets to adhere the vellum with. I'll show you how to use that. So let's put these over here so they're out of the way. And let's start with this piece. The vellum too, so I don't get it soiled. Okay. Now the first thing I'm going to do, you're also going to need a stamp block, a clear block. This is a B block, Memento ink. The bone folder I already used, so I'm not. Multi-liquid glue, Tombow. For the colors, for the first card, I'm using Daffodil Delight, Balmy Blue, and Soft Seafoam. If you wanted to substitute the So Saffron for the Daffodil Delight, you could use the Subtles collection of ink pads, and then if you only had one collection, that would work. But I chose the Daffodil Delight because it's the same color as one of the papers. Okay, and then to step it up a little bit, I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow and the Fresh Fig. Okay, so let's get started. You're also going to need a mister with either your choice of water or 91% isopropyl alcohol, just the regular alcohol that you use for if you get it cut or something and you want to clean something out, sterilizing. And I put that in a mister as well. Both options work. This card I use the alcohol. This card I use the water on. The water will buckle the card a little bit more, and you have to wait for it to dry. For today's demonstration, I'll do one card with the water, one card with the alcohol. But I like the alcohol better. Just, you're probably not supposed to breathe it in. Okay, so we're going to start with the soft seafoam. You're also going to need something to clean your stamp block on. I have the stamping chamois over here to the side. It's in a wood block case because then I can just leave my blocks in there with my stamps on them if I'm doing and clean them all off at the end. Okay, so I'm going to take my stamp block and I'm going to actually ink up the block. You want to make sure you got a good amount of ink on there. I don't know if you can see that. You see how much ink is on there? Okay, so ink up the block, and you're going to take your mister, and I'm going to do it off camera because I don't want to get stuff, water, alcohol all over everything. And I'm just going to, from about this far above, it's about 6 inches above, I'm going to mist it. The alcohol, you don't need quite as much, like 3 mists or 4 mists. With the mini mister and the water, you need about 5. Okay, then you're going to just stamp it down onto your card. Just put it down, hold it there. You can actually see the ink being absorbed into the paper. Okay, then we're going to take that up. I'm going to clean off our block and we're going to go to the next color. Okay, so I'm going to do the blue one next. And this is the Balmy Blue. Make sure my stamp block is clean and dried off. Ink it up. Make sure it's inked up well. Again, can you see how much ink is on there? I don't know if you can or not, but it doesn't really. Oh, what did I do with my mister? Okay, I'm going to mist it up. You see how much liquid is on there? Then I'm going to put this one up here. I'm going to move it over a little bit and up a little and stamp. If it doesn't come out exactly perfect, that's fine, just adds character. Okay, clean off my block. That's why the stamp cleaner is important, because you don't want to contaminate your colors. Do the same thing with the yellow. Look at my block. You can see the color a little bit better with the yellow. I'll see how much is on there because it's a darker color. My alcohol, spritz it. See how much is on there? Okay, now this one's going to overlap this one and overlap this one a little bit. So I'm going to just the bottom corners, stamp it down. And clean up my block. The nice thing with the rubbing alcohol is it dries really fast. With the water, you have to wait for it to dry to do the next step. Now we're going to take let's see, we're going to do the graphic one first. Okay, let's do the graphic one first. Oh, stay over there. Sorry about that. I thought I had them all ready to go already, but I forgot to open it. Okay, so we're going to take the pots, no, the vases, one at a time. We're going to use the same block. Mount the stamp onto the block. You can either do it like this, put it down onto your paper and pick it up, or you can, that way it doesn't warp. We're going to use the Memento ink. Ink it up. Oh, do it this way. Small stamp. Make sure it's good and inked. And then I'm going to stamp it in this green block down towards the bottom of the block. Towards the center of it. But down towards the bottom. Excuse me, I guess I need a drink of water. Okay, very nice. Clean off my stamp. And I'm going to get the large standing up one. This one. This one. Ink that up. Oh dear. I must add a little bit of ink on the corner of my block. Beware of that. Okay, and this one's going to go over this way a little bit more, but again towards the bottom of the block. Very nice. Clean it off. And then the last one is that one that looks like a wine carafe. Pick it up. And again towards the center of the blue block. I need a little more ink in the middle. And stamp it down. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take the flowers, and they're going to be longer than your block, but that's okay because you don't want to stamp the stems in these solid blocks anyway. So you have a couple choices. You can either take a post-it note or a scrap piece of paper and put it in there, or you can just not ink up the bottom of your stamp, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to ink up the top half of the stamp. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I'm going to just stamp that up here in this top one. It's going to come out of the block, blue block, but that's okay. Excuse me. The mail just came. Okay, so in this one I want this one that's swoopy. And again, I don't need the whole stem, so I'm not going to worry that it hangs off. I'm just going to ink up the top part. That's going to go in this vase here, and it's going to go over towards this way. It's okay if you get a little bit at the bottom. If you get too much, wipe it off. A little bit of an angle on it. Okay, stamp that. Perfect. Clean it off. And then we've got these, I think they're poppies. And again, I'm going to have them just come off the bottom because I really only want the top part of the flowers. Okay, ink them up. Stamp them in this pot here. A little bit less done. Alright, awesome. Get hair on there. Oh well. Now the sentiment was a clean and simple card. I just put, there's a hello sentiment in there. There's other sentiments as well but I liked the clean simpleness of this. Just stamp it down. Okay, awesome. Put the cover on this so I don't get any more ink anywhere else. Make sure this one was cleaned off so I don't have that issue when I do it the next card. I think it's good. Okay, so now if I'm going to do the black stitching around it, I'm going to take a black marker. In this instance I'm using a Sharpie, and you're just going to do a squiggly line. Oh, come on, you were writing 2 minutes ago. And then a couple dots, a couple dashes maybe, and then extend the line a little longer. It's okay if it's choppy and missing pieces. Around the corner where there is items, you're gonna just hop over. See, we're not gonna do it there where that vase is, because okay, and then we're going to do it around the other ones. Little lines that way. This is not a necessary step, it's just fun. And again, squiggly. Okay, one more. And I kind of like this because I couldn't draw a straight line if I needed to, because I have just enough of a little bit of a tremor, and it shows up when I try to draw straight lines and stuff. There we go. So that changed it just a little bit. Adds just a little something else. Okay, then we're going to mount this onto a piece of black card base. You can either use your snail or Tombow Mono. I'm going to use the Tombow Mono because it's out. Center it on the card base. It's going to have about an 1/8 of an inch on either side because it's a 1/4 inch smaller than the card base itself, than the card front itself. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and rub it so it gets really good and adhered. I do that in case I have ink on my fingers, which I usually do. And then I can add this to the center. Now you could probably stamp something on this. I'm not going to, but you can see my trimmer pretty good today. There you go, there's the first card. Here's the original one I did. I think they're kind of cute. Okay, let's go on to card 2. And we're going to start the same way, except this is a card front, and then I'll cut it out with the die to make it have the stitched frame around it. Okay, so we're going to make sure our block is clean and dry. Again, we're going to start with our green. This time I'll use the water so you can see the difference. Ink it. And I might have to bring in the heat tool to dry it. And I found 5 spritzes from about 5-6 inches above work the best with these little mini misters. And you can see how much water's on there. Okay, then I'm going to stamp it down here. There's a hair. It's on my block. Okay, lift it off. You could see it, though, it absorbing in a little bit more water, and it's a little less splotchy. But it also warps a little bit more. Okay, then we'll go to the blue one. Make sure it's clean and dry. Do it like this so you can see how I'm doing it. Bring this in. So I'm doing like this. Okay. Bring this back in. Stamp it about here. You can move the color on the block just by tipping it a little bit too. Did you see it just absorb into the paper? Clean off the block. It's not so important between the blue and the green that it gets cleaned off well, but going into the yellow, you want to make sure you don't have any blue or green on your block, or it's gonna spoil your ink pad. What do I do with my mister? There it is. Alright, and I'll move this over. See, so you can maybe see what I did. Okay, now this one's going to overlap both of them a little bit. Okay, there's that part. Okay, now let's close the yellow ink. Now for this one, we're going to use the outlines, these, because we're cutting out the vases out of vellum. And we just want the outlines to show so you can tell what they are. So I need this one first. Again, we'll use the Memento ink. stamp that down here at the bottom in the center. Clean it off. The next one's that tall, fat one. Over this way a little bit. I didn't even wait for this to dry, so it might bleed a little bit, but it's alright. The one that looks like a wine carafe, right in the center here. Okay. Now we're going to do the flowers the same way we did before. We use the same block. Doesn't matter if it's too long. This one we want a little bit more of the stem though, because you can see through it. So go ahead and ink up your stamp. And stamp it down. Cool. Alright. Next one. Now we'll do the top one. Now to get more of it on, I'm putting it on my block a little sideways, and you can curve the stems if you want to. It won't hurt anything. Get up. Oh, that one's not inked. Alright. And stamp it down. Now this one I'm going to add a couple leaves to. So I got the little leaf. Add a couple down here. And I got a little scratch of paper here. I'm just going to set it over this flower here because I want to petal up here at the top and I don't want the whole thing. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now the last flower. On sideways so I can get more of that stem. Get up. Ears are ringing for some reason. Alright. Ooh, went off the bottom, but that's alright. Didn't realize it was. Alright, I think we're done with the memento. Nope, we have to do the hellos. Let's go ahead and do those while we've got it out then. Okay, so I put one next to each one of those. So I started down here. One here. Okay, so now we're done with the memento ink. You can put it away. There's the lid. Under here. Okay, now we're going to fill in some colors. And now this stamp set also has the little pieces that you can use to fill them in with. So that's what we're going to use. So let's do this one first. And we're going to use the fresh fig for the flowers on all of them, and the mossy meadow for the leaves. I could have left them off if you wanted to, but okay, ink it up. It is a photopolymer stamp, so you can see through it. Oh my God, my ink did sloppy. Let me clean that off and start again. Light pressure, so you don't get the sides. line it up as best you can. And set it down. Perfect. Okay. Let's do this one next. Get up lightly, light taps, line it up. And set it down. Perfect, that one came out good this time. Last time I was not so lined up. Okay, and then the poppies, they go this way, ink it up, light tap so I don't get the sides, line them up, set it down. Awesome. Alright, now we're going to do the green. Let's put this one away. Oops, this is one of the old style ones I keep forgetting. Close it differently. Mossy Meadow, and we're going to need the scratch paper again for that green, although it doesn't matter as much. A solid green leaf. Ink it up. About masking it because it's pretty good. Awesome. Okay, we're done with the ink. Now we're going to bring in the Big Shot. Put this little tiny leaf away before I lose it. Alright. Now we need to cut that, and I'm going to do a stepped up version. I'm going to have what I have for my card base is this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and from the largest of the rectangles, of the new rectangles, in the get it out of the way so I don't get this paper all wet. I cut out, I already did it for this part. I cut out the center of that, so I have a little piece of a frame there. And I'm also going to cut that out of this using that largest rectangle. So I'm going to line it up where I want it in my card. And I recommend when you're putting it on your plates, you're going to use your Big Shot platform, your thin die adapter, a cutting plate, and your paper with your die on it, and another cutting plate. When you put it on your cutting plate, you want it to go in at a little bit of an angle like this. If it goes in straight on like this, it hits that edge and it's real hard to get it through the machine. So if you possibly can, put it so that you have a little bit of an angle like this. And you might need to tape that down, especially because my plates are really, really warped. Okay, let's see if we can get it to go through. Be straight. Awesome. Okay. Now, I've also cut a piece of the gingham gala paper, and this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, And this is going to layer on top of this. I just cut this out of here because I have limited amount of this. This is crumb cake, I think. I got it down here so because I can never remember. Sahara sand. That's one of the colors that's in that paper. Okay, so this white one can save as a frame. We'll throw it away. And then I've got another piece of the Sahara sand, which I cut out with the next size down of the rectangles. I don't think I did this right. I think this should have been this next size down. I don't know if it will fit in it though. I think I'm going to eliminate this layer because it's not going to fit. Okay, so let's get our card base. And I'm going to mount this to here. I'm going to use the Tombow. I've forgotten what it did already. I had it laid out, but I can't get going and I can't remember what I did. Okay, and this is going to go right up to the edge here, and the bottom. Line it up with the top if possible. Should be the same size as the card. Ah, it's sticking to me. Okay. And we're going to put the yellow piece on top of there. And it has a larger check on one side, a smaller on the other. I'm going to use the smaller side. Turn it up now. Good, it's still moved just a hair. Alright. Let's get these on here. It's not going to have much of an edge, just a little tiny bit of one. There we go. Alright, there's that. Now I still need to cut out the vases that go on here. So let's get the fingers cleaned off. Bring the punch in. And what I did is I took the punch, turned it upside down so you can see in it, and then I lined up these vases so that they lined up with a couple of, so that there was flowers within the vases. It's a little bit difficult to do. There we go, that one looks pretty good, so let's just punch. Okay. One didn't have a whole lot of flowers in it, so let's punch another one here. Alright. Alright, now to get these vases stuck onto my card so we didn't have any lines or anything, I took the permanent Sizzix adhesive sheets. I peeled back the top layer, the one with the writing on it, so the sticky was showing up. I made sure I had the vases so that they were right side up. There's a shinier side and a duller side. You want the shiny side up, and I just stuck it down on top of that adhesive. That's the right side. One more. Which one do I want to use? one has more flowers, that one has more leaves. I guess it doesn't really make any difference. Okay, shiny side up, which is the best side. It's hard to tell. Okay. And then I put this back over the top and I rubbed it really well. And I turned it over and I rubbed it from the back. Okay, then you're going to need a pokey tool or something, because now we're going to pick off the vase. The sticker's going to stick to the back of the vase, and hopefully not anything else. If you get any that comes over the edge, wrap it around if you can. If you can't, then we'll come back and erase it with the glue eraser. Okay, then we're going to I'm going to use this to adhere it. So line it up with your vase where you want it. Stick it down. Makes a really good adhesion. And then there's no adhesive lines. You don't see any of the adhesives. Use my fingers for this one. Sort of like the machines that Xyron machines, except a little less technical. Okay, I'm going to put this a little bit lower so maybe it hides a little bit of that stem that popped out the bottom. There we go. Rub it down. One more. This one got glue on the top of it. I recommend only doing the one at a time. A little less chance of getting glue all over themselves. Okay, I'm going to put it back in the trash can. And it is sticky. If you don't like getting sticky, this is not a job for you. You probably don't want to do it. Alright. Line it up. My fingers are sticky. Okay, then I do have a glue eraser. I'm gonna erase any of that glue that's still showing. This is a must-have in any craft room. There, we're all cleaned up. Any on that one? No. A little tiny bit there. Just balls it up like the rubber cement used to. Okay, then we're going to adhere this to the front of our card. You could add a ribbon if you want. You could add some sequins. Center it up in there. There's no adhesive. There we go. There's today's cards. Thank you so much for joining me at my craft table today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you next time.